Okay, I did check and I confirmed that the Cleaver of Havoc is indeed meant to be a flame weapon, not a venomous weapon. Well, there's a few enemies that are like that say venomous, but they give you fire. None of these ones, but I don't think it generally matters with the enemies. It matters with the people, because fire tokens, I don't know if you know this, fire tokens and poison tokens are identical, 100% identical in gameplay terms. They just look different. The difference might be used in some expansion, where maybe you can heal a venom token or you can heal a flame token. Anyway, back to the game. So, that means with this Cleaver of Havoc, I could deal some real damage, because it exploits their blunt and their flame weaknesses. That means no matter if I do any damage to them at all, I still will deal 2 extra wounds to them. Even if they block the entire attack, they still get 1 wound for the blunt and 1 wound for the flame. So, very, very nice to be able to exploit the weaknesses. So, do I have a Crescent of Blood in my hand? Let's see. I do not have a Crescent of Blood in my hand. Maybe I'm going to grab one. So, my choice is either, my choice is either kill everybody or just kill enough of them that I don't have to worry about defending, and then discard cards to put progress on the encounter. So, let's see if I have any really good ones. The 4-cost cards here, Fire of Fury. All damage dealt by your single action becomes magic damage. Add +2 magic damage to that damage. You may place up to 3 fire tokens on the targeted enemy. For each one so placed, place 1 fire token on your hero charter. That would be really good against the final enemy. Although he does not have a weakness against fire, it's divine for him. And then this one is, if at least 1 wound was placed on an enemy card during this hero turn, choose any one hero area or quest area, deal a number of attack equal to double the number of enemies in that area, split any way you choose between those enemies, bury this card. Very, very nice. Not as good as the cards that I was thinking of getting over here. So, let me see if what I can do using just the Cleaver. I might get the Crescent of Blood. I'm going to grab the Crescent of Blood, and that way I can use my Cleaver's full attack. I sure hope that there were 5 of those. I think I got rid of 2 of them, or 3 of them, and I kept 2. I could use my Cleaver's full attack, discard it, and then get it right back into my hand and use its full attack again. So, let's probably plan on doing that. Regular action, deal 2 physical damage, +2 enemy focus. You can discard up to 3 combat cards, deal +1. For each card so discarded, place 1 flame token on the targeted enemy, discard the card. Okay, so remember, I'm dealing +2 damage net to each enemy I target with this. So, let's just go for the strongest enemy first. Okay, so, just the base attack, it's going to move me up twice on the hero, or the enemy focus. It's going to deal 1 damage, because it cuts through its 1 defense and deals 1 additional damage. It's going to deal 2 damage for exploiting the weakness. That means that I just need to discard 1 card. And I can discard this double slash, although I could discard the double slash anyway. Let me see. Furious Denial. Will I be able to kill everybody? I'm hoping to kill everybody, so maybe I'm just going to use the Furious Denial. Discard that. It's a combat card. Deal +1 enemy focus, +1 damage, which is going to kill that guy outright. Alright. So, and then the Cleaver gets discarded. The enemy is killed, he gives me 1 resolve. We don't get any progress because that's not what this encounter is about, but I do get to restore 1 if I pay 1 more enemy focus. So I'm going to restore that denial card I just played. And I'm going to play this Crescent of Blood. After you resolve an action that eliminates an enemy, move any 1 axe card from your discard pile into your hero area. You immediately resolve any 1 action of an axe card in your hero area. So I'm moving that Cleaver of Havoc back out, and I'm going to attack one of the other guys. And it's going to deal just any attack that I do with it is going to kill them. And I can, remember, move an axe card from my discard pile to the top of my deck, so I could use the regular action again. Actually, there's no real difference here between the regular action and the fast action. So I'm just going to do the fast action, which puts it on the top of my deck anyway. I guess unless there was another way for me to get it out of my discard pile. But I'm just going to go for the fast action there. So again, I move up twice, 1, 2. This guy gets dealt 2 damage for his vulnerabilities and 1 damage that cuts through his attack. His defense, I mean. And is the guy I just killed was not ranged, so it's good that I'm targeting this guy second, because he has the skirmisher ability. I didn't notice that. Okay, so this goes up. This guy gets killed. I get another resolve, and then I can still do a fast action. For instance, from this thing. And first thing I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to equip this other hand axe. That's going to move the reinforcements track up 1, and then a fast action. Fast action of this other hand axe. It doesn't really matter which axe I use. Deal 2 physical damage, another +2 here. So 1 physical damage cuts through the defense, +1 for his blunt attack, but this one does not have the flame, so I don't have that extra vulnerability. That means that I have to discard a combat card, basically. And I'm going to discard this Wrath Call, not using it anyway, and deal 1 extra damage, move up 1 more. This guy's now killed. I get another resolve. Each of these guys, they're pretty weak, just 1 resolve each. The hand axe gets put back on top of my deck as well. And that pretty much is going to do me for this turn. Oh, wow. Okay, I killed 2 more guys, actually. So, with the first one, I'm going to do this restoration. With this other one, I'm going to do this restoration. Perfect. Now, that does move this up 1, 2. I think I still would have killed that guy, though, before he got enraged, so that's fine. And now, I may discard some cards to put progress on here. I'm going to need to discard cards to put progress on there anyway. And, well, no, I don't. If I kill all the enemies, I don't need to discard any cards. So I'm going to hold on to them. And either I'm going to kill all the enemies with Herrig, or Herrig's going to discard some cards. So, draw back up. 1, 2. That Cleaver of Havoc is back. Alright. And Herrig's turn. Okay, so Herrig has a Curse Walker who is not going to attack this round. And the Ravenous Dragger. At the end of the defense phase, this enemy is in a hero area of a player with any cards in their burial pile and enrage this enemy. Well, I don't need to deal with that. I'm going to kill him anyway. Okay, so remember that all of my attacks, because of the Aura of Cold, are going to lower the target's defense by 1, whether it's magic or non-magic. So I can put this Ice Talisman out, but I think I probably want to wait on that until I've killed the enemies so I don't have to worry about enraging anybody. I can put the Blade of Shiver out, and that's going to deal physical damage. The Cursed Walker is weak against magic damage. This guy is not particularly weak against anything. I did want to consider getting that Fire Frost Mastery. Any frost card that deals physical damage or magic damage also places a flame on the targeted enemy. Discard one arcane card or bury this card. And that would give it the fire attribute so that it would exploit their vulnerabilities, which are flame. So that would deal 1 extra damage to him. Let's see if I can kill him without buying that. So if I were to put out my Blade of Shiver, and if I were to do the fast action, I would have to put it on top of the deck. If I were to do the regular action, I'd have to discard it. That would be 1, 2, 3. Let's see. So 1 would cut through the defense, so that's 1. And I could discard up to 3 more cards. So that would do it. That would be a lot of cards I would be discarding, though. And what else? I have this Arcane Whetstone. I guess I should equip the Arcane Whetstone. That's not going to cost me anything. And let's see. And so I could put that on the bottom of the reward deck to give that an additional +1 attack. So could I get away with just doing the fast action on that? Let's see. Alright, so that would deal 1 that cuts through the defense. I could discard a card for another 1. I could get another 1 out of that. But that would not actually kill him. If I got Fire Frost Mastery, it would. Or I could get any number of other things that would help without making it a fire attack. Let's see. Touch of Cold. After any physical damage was dealt to an enemy, discard 1 arcane card to deal an enemy 2 magic damage or 3 magic damage. So that is a good thing to have. Winter's Aid. Move up to 3 frost cards from your discard pile to your hand. Oh, now that might be a nice one to put in my hand right now. What is this? Freezing Grip. What is this? Freezing Grip. That's the one where the text boxes of the enemies are blank. The Blizzard is the one that deals damage to everybody. So I'm going to take a look at this Winter's Aid. If I put this in my hand, I could get 3 cards out of here into my hand, which would definitely allow me to pay for those effects. So I might do that. I would end up burying the card, but I think I can deal with that. But maybe I want to save that for when I'm fighting against the final guy, because after this encounter is resolved, I could go fight him. But I would get the Cold Snap, which would let me deal 1 magic damage as a fast action. So I could just do 1 hit on somebody. It would cut through his defense. And what about this Fire Frost Mastery again? I'm going to get the Fire Frost Mastery. Might as well have it. Okay, so that's going to cost me 3. Equipping it to my hero area costs 1. Any frost card that deals physical or magical damage also places 1 fire on the enemy. And I either have to bury this card or discard an arcane card. And if I put the fire on the enemy, I also get 1 free damage for it. Plus the damage for putting the fire on the enemy. Right, I wouldn't be eliminating the enemy right away, but this guy's not going to attack anyway, unless I enrage him. And this guy will attack if I enrage him, but I could defend with my frost shield. I could cancel most of it. Alright. What am I going to do? Okay. So, how are we going to kill this guy? I could kill them, or I could try to survive their attacks. The problem is, if I enrage this guy, he's going to attack and attack and attack and attack. So, I should try and kill that guy at least. So I'm going to equip my Blade of Frost, or Blade of Shiva. 1, 2, 3. And let's see. If I did the Fire Frost Mastery and the standard attack and discarded a card and put this out, that would be 1, 2, plus 3. He would die in the defense phase, but I want to kill him before that. So I would need to use the stronger attack. So Blade of Shiver is out. Do the regular action of the Blade of Shiver, which is 1, 2 enemy focus. That's 2 physical attack. Oh, wait a second here. I take that back. 1, well, no, it's going to be 2 anyway, but I'm going to do the fast action. So that's 2 physical attack. He blocks 1 because I've reduced his shields with the Aura of Cold, so he takes 1 damage from that. In addition, I can discard a Frost card. I'm going to discard this Frost Bolt to deal +1 damage. In addition, I'm going to use the Arcane Whetstone to deal +1 damage. So put that back on the bottom of the reward deck. And finally, I'm going to use my Fire Frost Mastery to deal, to basically make it a flame attack. Wait a second here. I didn't put the last damage out. Okay, so 1 damage got through from my attack, 1 damage from discarding a card. That's 2. 1 damage from the Whetstone, that's 3. And then the last damage for his vulnerability to fire. And in order to do that, I must go 1, 2 more. And I must either discard an arcane card or bury the Fire Frost Mastery. And because I used the fast attack for the Blade of Shiver, put it on top of my deck here. Okay, so discard an arcane card or bury the Mastery. Of course, I'm going to discard this Frost Shield. Okay, that guy's dead. And that gets me +2 resolve. Now I just have the Cursed Walker. Now, as soon as I enrage him, he is going to attack me this round. And if I don't enrage him, I'm not going to be able to put any progress on here. So basically, I need to kill him, if at all possible, or at least enrage him. But I'm probably going to try and kill him. So if I put out my Ice Staff, that's 1. If I then do the regular action of my Frost Bolt, that's going to deal him 2 direct damage. And then I can discard an additional Arcane card to deal an additional 1 damage. And that means I'm going to have to buy an Arcane card to discard. Ice Nova. That's a pretty cool one. Frost Blast. That's a pretty cool one. I have not really been attaching things. I think I might just do another touch of cold. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so I've equipped the Ice Staff. I'm then going to put it on top of my deck as though I were equipping or discarding an arcane card to deal 2 magic damage and plus 1/2, so he is no longer ignoring slow. Both of the damage gets through to him because I've reduced his magic defense by 1. I have then also bought a card to put in my hand, a Touch of Cold, which I could discard for additional damage, or I could discard it. No, I can't discard it for its ability, because I would need to discard an additional arcane card. So I'm just going to discard it for the +1 damage to my Frostbolt. It's also +1 focus, brings me back down to 6, but this guy is now killed, and I have eliminated the last of the resurrected folks. And I still have this Ice Talisman in my hand, which I'm going to place in my hero area for 2, 1, 2, another reinforcement. And as a fast action, I can put a Frost card from my discard pile on top of my deck, then put this card on top of my deck. And I will do that, and I will find the very best card in the discard pile. I will just go for the, let's see, Frost Bolt. I will go for the Frost Bolt. Frost Bolt. And then place the Ice Talisman on top of the deck. And what else? I can use my healing action, or my healing potion, which I probably want to do. I'm going to do that healing potion as well. I don't have to do this during my turn. That's going to go on the bottom of the reward deck. But I have a feeling I'm going to be fighting the boss next. So I'm going to do that 2 restoration. I'm going to put the Touch of Cold down there. I'm going to put the other Frostbolt down there. And now we're good. Okay, so he's going to draw back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Very, very nice. Okay. And now we're going to go to the defense phase. Nobody needs to do anything for the defense phase. Now we're going to go to the encounter phase. The end condition has been met, so we're going to go to Encounter Aftermath. Disperse enemies. No enemies to disperse. Improve the active location. I will do that. Draw 3 rewards, because remember there's a hidden cachet in these barrows as well. So that's 1, 2, 3 rewards, and I can distribute them among my heroes. There's another healing potion, which I will give to Harig. There is a Stone of Power. Place this card at the bottom of the reward deck when you resolve any action of an arcane or divine card. It deals any damage to deal +1 damage. I will give that to Harig as well. And the last one, the Invisibility Potion, I will give to Venda, so that she can deal with some of that fire stuff. Maybe I should have given that to Harig as well. I should give it to Harig as well. Yeah. He seems to be the weaker one. Venda seems to be able to handle herself. Okay, Encounter Aftermath. Let's see. Heroes rest if the location is safe. The location is now safe, so we get 2 restoration points. Venda doesn't get to do anything with those. and Herrig will get a Frost Shield, and he will get a Arcane Inspiration. Put those at the bottom of his deck. And then they draw back up. No need. And then reset enemy focus, reset enemy focus, reset enemy focus, reset enemy focus, and discard the active encounter, although it will get attached to Ralforce. Now, Ralforce, the Way Changer, now has a Borderlands encounter, a Deadlands/Wildlands encounter, a Borderlands encounter, and a Deadlands encounter. So I'm going to use this as a Wildlands encounter. He now has all of the encounters attached to him that I need in order to confront him. So if he is still in my range next turn, I should be able to move on to the boss next turn, which is good because, of course, that's what we want to do. That's the plan. And then we're going to go to the time phase. Time phase, Wear and Tear. Each player immediately discards a gear card from their hand or hero area. If able, the players may discard a total resolve equal to the number of players to ignore the event part of this card. Well, that's tough. A gear card from their hand or hero area, if able. Well, okay. That's actually not bad. Venda is going to discard an axe. And this one's a little more tough. Discard. I could discard this invisibility potion, but I might need it actually. I'm going to discard this healing potion, so that'll get back into my hand eventually. Okay. And we move forward one. Good. I think we're going to make it. Right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more potential rounds to go, and we can probably kill the guy before then. All right. We're now going to go to the end of the round, which means things are going to move around again. We've got a D, which means move the top row to the right. Luckily, that does not affect me at all, at least my plans. So, reinforcements phase, go back to 0. The travel phase, I'm going to move into the burned village and confront Ralforce, the Way Changer. Yes! Okay, so a few things happen now. First, the Ralforce, the Way Changer health is set at the 2 times the number of players plus 6, so that is 10 HP. Second, Ralforce is now in play. Well, not quite, but he will be. Third, the Tangled Path. So we're going to deal with some more red enemies. I'm going to set them up over here now. And let's see here. Any red enemies? 4 of them. So we've got Blackwood Ambushers, several of them. Ooh, this is a nice one. Twisted Lasher. This is being mutated by the mist. And the Blackwood Mage Hunter again. Okay. Setup rules. Place Ralforce, the Way Changer in the quest area with the winged side face up. Winged. Place 1 progress on this card for every 2 encounter cards attached to Ralforce, then discard all attached encounters. So, Ralph Force goes into the end of the line, because setup always happens after putting out the initial enemies. We're going to discard these 4 quests and put 2 progress tokens on. As a reflex, a player may remove 2 progress from this card to cancel 1 special ability of Ralph Force, the Waychanger. Progression, as a fast action, a hero may discard a card to place 1 progress on this card. And when Ralph Frost, typo, the Waychanger is eliminated. Retreat penalty, this card cannot be retreated from. Okay, so let's take a look at this Ralph Force card. But before I do, I have now moved into the Burned Village, and since it is a depressing site, we must, as a group, discard number of cards equal to the number of players. So I'm just going to have each person discard 1. Blunt Bash, probably not needed. Actually, that's a fast action. No, not needed. We'll figure something out. And for this one, I suppose one of these Frost Bolts would not be needed. Okay, so Ralph Force. When he's in a hero area and a player buries any cards as a result of his attack, that player must discard a gear card from the hero area if able. He also has Flight. He requires additional +1 range to target. Move him to the quest area at the end of the defense phase. So even if he comes and attacks me, he's going to fly away again. Plus, he's going to take +1 range to attack. And then, if he gets enraged, I have to remove 2 damage from him. And how do I actually flip him to his other side? Let's check that one out. It does not seem like there's a way to flip him. Is it maybe... No. I think on the first quest, if you kill the thing, it then flips and you have to kill it again. But I'm not sure if that's true here, so I have to look this one up. Okay, here it is. It's in the quest guide. It's not anywhere on the encounter card or the Ralph Force card, and I don't believe it's in the errata either, but it is here. Flipping him. Whenever any number of wound tokens are placed on him, he flips, basically. So, I need to deal 2 times the number of players plus 6, so that's 10 damage to him. He's going to attempt to remove damage every time he becomes enraged. Let's do it. Alright, Ralph Force the Waychanger. Let's finish this. So, I believe that where I left off, I was going to start on the pursuit phase. So we have to think about, first of all, Ralph Force is not even going to enter play this round. He's not going to be attacking anybody. Because he's not... Well, let's see. No, actually, he is going to be drawn to somebody's player area, I believe. We're going to go down to 2, then we're going to go down to 1, then he's going to be drawn to one of our player areas. So we have to decide who is actually capable of dealing him any damage. So he has a divine weakness. He has no particular defenses in terms of weak defenses. And let's see. Every time he gets hit, we flip him. That was in the quest guide. And so to deal... Alright, he can take 10 damage total. So to kill him, and remember, if he gets enraged, we need to remove 2 damage from him. So to kill him, we need to deal 10 damage over several different attacks. So let's think about, first of all, Herrig, does he have any capability of damaging this guy? Well, I can put flame markers on him using Fire Frost Mastery. And what else do I have? I have the Blade of Shiver, so I could deal up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 physical damage, subtracting 1 from his defense, so that's 4 straight up wounds. Then I could use Fire Frost Mastery to put another flame token on him, but I would need to be discarding that amount of cards, which I don't think I can do. And then I have the Frost Bolt, which I could also use to deal some damage. I have the Stone of Power when I deal, basically, when I use an Arcane or Divine spell, that would be this Frost Bolt here, I can deal an additional magic damage. Okay. And let's look at Venda, the Fury. So Venda has the capability of, she's got the Cleaver of Havoc. So let's just say she used the regular action of this. That would deal 2 physical damage, which he's going to block the whole thing. And I can discard up to 3 combat cards to deal additional damage. I also have the Furious Strike, which I would probably use with that, which deals plus 2 physical damage. So that would be 1, 2, where is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I would discard 1 combat card to deal an additional 1. That's 5. And I could move this Whetstone up to deal an additional 1. That's 6. So he would be blocking 3 of those. That would be 3 damage to him. Plus I would put a fire token on him. So that would deal 1 additional damage during the defense phase. Then over here, I already said I could deal some damage to him. But remember, he has +1 to his range. +1 to his range, as long as he's flying. When I take the wings off of him, that means if I deal damage to him, he's going to flip over and he's not going to be flying anymore. Okay, so let me see here. Let me just make sure that that is correct. It's been a couple of days since I was playing this game last. Okay. Any number of wound tokens are placed on him. And on both sides, he only has the divine vulnerability. So, actually what I really need to do is think about, I'm sure I can figure out how to damage the different enemies, so I need to figure out who goes to where. The Blackwood Ambushers, they're easy. There's going to be 1 going to each hero. And I believe they have a special ability. They attack immediately after entering a hero area, unless I discard 2 cards to ignore that ability. So, that means I would have to get damaged by 2 attack. And I think actually at this point in the game, rather than discarding cards, I think I might want to just take that damage. So I'm going to use the Frost Call, I think, to take the 2 damage. The 2 cards go from my discard pile to my burial pile. And then, dang it. Oh man, I was hoping that Venda still had that card in her discard pile. That would be good for that. So I have an axe in there. Oh dear, oh dear. But I can always put a card from my burial pile on the bottom of my deck as a reflex at the end of my turn. So I'm going to do that too. So she gets, those 2 cards get buried. Okay. So we're still continuing on. So we have to decide who gets the Mage Hunter and who gets the Twisted Lasher. Well, that seems pretty obvious to me actually. The Twisted Lasher should go to Herrig because the Mage Hunter, he does not want to have to deal with the Mage Hunter. So the Mage Hunter is going to Venda. Seems like the light's sort of weird today. The Mage Hunter is going to Venda. And that means Ralphors has to go to one of the 2 characters. Which one is it going to be? Well, The only one with range enough to damage him would be Herrig. But Herrig also doesn't have great defense. But Herrig also has more cards in his discard pile in order to use to take the damage. So I guess we'll go put Ralphors over with Herrig. Okay, so we're going to go into the hero phase now. So let's see here. I think what's really necessary is to deal some damage to Ralphors while he's in my hero area. So I'm going to have Herrig go first. So Herrig's going to go first. It's going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. That doesn't cost anything. Just equipping all of my stuff. 1. Continuing to equip. And then I can equip my Blade of Shiver as well. That's going to cost 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, really what I would want to do is, first of all, I'm going to use this ability, the Ice Talisman, to put a Frost card from my discard pile on top of my deck, then put this card on top of my deck. I'm going to take the Frostbolt, put it on top of my deck, put this card on top of my deck. Alright, that was just a fast action or a reflex action? That was just a fast action. Okay. They're functionally identical. And then I can use the Frostbolt. So I'm going to use the Ice Staff with the Frostbolt. Well, first of all, actually, I might want to purchase a card. Frost Trap. Blizzard. Freezing Grip. The Blizzard one's pretty cool, but I would have to have been sort of planning that the whole game. I might want to get the Shield of Ice. Basically, one thing that I want to think about is if there's any cheap ones left. The Touch of Cold is cheap. Do I want to buy something just so I can discard it to deal additional damage? And I sort of feel like I actually do want to do that. So Frost Blast doesn't really do me any good. Ice Nova is a defense ability. And that's actually a pretty good one. And this Winter's Aid I sort of want to buy later on. So I think, oh, and there's the Shield of Ice as well. So what do I need to discard to power up my Frostbolt? It would be Arcane card. 1 Arcane card. So the Touch of Cold is going to be it. I'm going to purchase the Touch of Cold for 1 Resolve. I'm going to play my Frostbolt. I'm going to use my Ice Staff to power that up for the standard cost. I'm going to then also discard a Touch of Cold to power up even further to deal 1 additional damage. So that's moving this forward 1, 2, 3. That moves the Reinforcements track up 1. It's dealing 3 magic damage. Plus I'm going to use the Stone of Power to deal 1 additional magic damage, so that's 4 magic damage. And then I either have to discard an Arcane card or bury the Fire Frost Mastery, but when I do that, I am going to put a fire token on him. So, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm dealing 1, 2, 3, 4 magic damage to him, -1 to his defense, and putting a flame token on him. And he is defending 2, so I'm dealing 2 damage to him. Because he's been dealt 2 damage, he flips. which means he is no longer winged, which means that Venda can now damage him if, for instance, she uses an ability that brings him into her hero area instead. Okay, so that's the Frostbolt resolved. Oh, and I need to go 1-2 for placing the fire token on him and or bury that card. So that means I have to enrage somebody in this. Oh darn. The Twisted Lasher has a really bad ability I just now noticed. After the enemy enters a hero area during any pursuit phase, the player places 2 Daze tokens on their hero charter, which actually subtracts 2 from the damage that I'm dealing. That's not very good. Let me just double check that. I believe that applies to any kind of damage, so that's no good. Because that would apply as soon as he enters my hero area. And then I would miss out on basically any damage that I was doing with that attack. Alright, Daze. Whenever a hero or enemy deals damage, the hero deals 1 less damage for every Daze condition token on their hero charter or enemy card. Oh darn. Okay. So, we're going to switch things around. We'll have the Blackwood Mage Hunter enter my hero area, the Twisted Lashers here entering Venda's, and she's taking the 2 Daze tokens. And I'll explain why in a minute. First of all, because I really want to deal some damage to this guy right now. And then also, nobody's going to hit me this turn because I'm going to use my invisibility potion as soon as I am satisfied that I'm done with whatever I'm planning to do this turn. But I still have the Blade of Shiver, that I can do just the standard action of it, and then put it back on top of my deck so I can equip it again next turn. Plus any other cards that I choose to purchase from here. So this Blizzard card is so good. I wish that I had bought that at the very beginning and started charging it up. That's the problem with these mage characters. I think I figured out a strategy. Basically, it seems like these mage characters are not very good at reacting to what's directly in front of them, but they have a lot of abilities that can charge up basically over time. So you need to spend the first few rounds of the game essentially drawing all of the enemies away from the mages so the mages can charge up their abilities, which I think makes them essentially weaker than the other characters, because the other characters can deal with what's in front of them immediately and still keep dealing damage. The mages have to charge up to deal a big attack at one point, but in the meantime, they're not really getting anything accomplished. So those are things like the Frost Stone, whatever it is. Alright, anyway, that's completely unrelated to what's going on right now. I'm just saying that even if I bought the Blizzard right now, I don't think I'd be able to use it much. So, do I want to use the Blade of Shiver to deal 2 physical damage? Well, yes I do. Because I'm going to... Oh, I need to enrage an enemy. That's what it was. So I'm going to enrage the Blackwood Ambusher. And then I'm going to kill the Blackwood Mage Hunter in one hit using Blade of Shiver, using the Aura of Cold to reduce his defense. So that is 1-2, brings me back down to 6, and deal 2 physical damage. Then put this card on top of my deck. That is 2 physical damage, ignoring 1 of his defense, so he is now dead. Okay. These cards got in the wrong discard pile here. So he's now dead. I get 1 resolve for that. And do I get anything for the this? No, I do not. Then, with what's remaining of my turn, I'm going to use this invisibility potion to move all enemies from my hero area back to the quest area. So the invisibility potion goes bye-bye. all of these enemies go whoop, and suddenly they don't bother me anymore, because they're not going to deal me any damage this turn. And then I would draw back up to my hand and end my turn. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pretty much the same stuff. Okay. Switching over to Venda's turn. Okay, so Venda has this that she needs to worry about. This Daze token. And that is, I have to check that one more time. Whenever a hero or enemy deals damage, that hero or enemy deals one last damage for every Daze condition token on their hero charter or enemy card, respectively. I think that means vulnerabilities are included in that. So basically, even if I directly deal damage, it's reduced by 2. And this is only going to get rid of... I'm only going to lose these once per turn. Unless I have any special abilities that happen to reference it. Anything? No. So, that means this turn I sort of might want to actually just take it easy. So I'm not really liable to deal a lot of damage. So I should equip my cleavers. And that would do 1, 2, 3. And then this one is 1. So I equipped my cleaver. I still have this stuff, but let's see, even if I do +2 damage, +2, I would put a fire token on him. Now that would be the one good thing. So basically I could get Ralphors over to me and put a fire token on him, but then I'd have to defend against his attack as well. So, okay, this is very unfortunate. So if I had the resolve available to do this Fire of Fury action, I could have put 3 fire tokens on Ralphors. But I didn't have enough resolve to get this combat leap and do that. That's the problem. Is there any way I can kill one of these 2 guys? I just want to... If I can kill him, I mean, I'm going to have to deal an additional 2 extra damage, which is absurd. But, let's see if I can do it. So, I would need to use the Arcane Whetstone. I would probably be killing off the Ambusher, because he has actually less, or I would say fewer HP, although the Lasher has a much stronger attack. So if I used, let's say, Furious Strike, that would be 4 damage. That is basically, gets reduced down to a total of 0 damage because of my 2 Daze tokens. I could then discard up to 3 combat cards to deal +1 damage for each one. So that would be 1 damage if I discarded 1 card. I could use the Whetstone for 1 damage. If I used... Well, if I use this Reflex, I would deal +1 damage. If I got any other combat card, I could deal more damage. So I could, for instance, I could get these other 2 Ruthless Taunts and deal more damage. I'm going to do that. That's a good idea, actually. So, I'm going to spend my last 2 resolve to get 2 Ruthless Taunts. I'm going to use a Furious Strike to... Actually, should I have done that against this? Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to use my Hand Axe regular action, activating the regular action with this. I'm doing +2, so that's 2 + 2, plus 1, 2, 3 to eliminate the Blackwood Ambusher. Unfortunately, I still have to deal with the Twisted Lasher, but here's the nice thing about this. If I didn't do this, I would have to start burying cards from the top of my deck or my hand instead of from my discard pile. Since I'm discarding all these cards anyway, it actually allows me to absorb the shock of the attack even better. So it's sort of a win-win. So, regular action of this, that's 1, 2. This card's going to get discarded. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Going to enrage this guy. And where's my ability I was using at the beginning? That's also a +1. +1, so that's 1 more to the reinforcements, unfortunately. And wait a second here. Okay, so maybe I can hold a card still in my hand. Well, then I have this whetstone still. So how much damage am I dealing here? So the axe is 2, +2 for Furious Strike. That is just enough to cut through the defense and the daze. And then I discarded 3. So actually, I think I'm just going to keep that. I'm going to hold on to my whetstone, hopefully use it to deal some more damage against Ralphors later on. So this guy's dead. I get 2 resolve. And now I don't think I can do anything else on my turn, so I'm going to use my abilities. Once per round as a fast action, I can move an axe card from my discard pile to the top of my deck. I can also, as a reflex, move a card from my burial pile to the bottom of my deck. This happens before I draw back up. This is actually a sort of a nice card. Or I can get that other axe back into play. I'm going to deal with... I think I'm going to put that one on the bottom. Oh, and I eliminated somebody. So first thing that actually would happen would be I would get 1 restoration point. So I believe what I would do with the restoration point, I can take the hand axe into my discard pile, or I can move one of these to the bottom of my deck. It's just 1 restoration point, but it is another enemy focus as well. Okay, so 1 restoration point. I mean, that Furious Strike is pretty darn good, so I'm going to do that, I think. Or there's also the Combat Leap, though. That's really useful. I'm going to do the Furious Strike. Now, that should do it for the end of her turn. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent, excellent, very good actually. Here's why. I drew this Wrath Call. I'm going to use it. Right now, it's a reflex, so I can do it at any time except while I'm drawing cards. That is 1, 2 enemy focus, and I draw 1 card. The reason I want to do that is then when I take damage, I can discard this and it counts as 2. So that's nice, because I'm taking 3 damage. Okay, that should do it for the hero phase. Now we're going to go to the defense phase. Activate each enemy in each hero area once. So this guy's dealing 3 damage to me. I'm going to do 2 from the Wrath Call, and 1 from one of these Ruthless Taunts. So that is 3. And then what happens next on the defense phase? Resolve conditions. So this condition, nothing happens when I resolve it. These two, each one puts out a wound, which means he flips again. And let me just make sure I did that one right, but I'm pretty sure that's how you should handle the flame condition. Yep. And the damage cannot be canceled, which is pretty cool too. And then the end of the defense phase, resolve all condition tokens on each enemy card. Regardless of the number of or type of condition tokens, remove one condition token from each enemy and each hero charter after resolving. So the daze goes away. One of the fire tokens goes away. The other one stays there. So I'm actually 4/10 or 2/5 of the way toward finally killing that guy, which is nice. Which is nice. It's good stuff. Okay, so then we have encounter phase. The end condition of the encounter has not been met. The time phase, we're going to have to deal with another time card, which hopefully does not enrage any enemies. Oh my god. Really? Really? Oh, this is terrible. This is really, really bad. Enrage one enemy in each hero area if able. Is there anything I can do to avoid that effect? Oh dear, this is terrible, terrible, terrible. That means, is there anything I can do? Like, is there a reflex card that I can do to get rid of an enemy, move an enemy somewhere? No, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, that's terrible, because now this guy gets enraged. He's activating the flailing ability, so he's putting 2 more daze tokens on Venda, who's now completely useless for the rest of this battle. And we move up 1 on the time track. Those furious mists are making me furious, actually. Okay, we're going to go to the reinforcements phase, and this is where it gets sort of ugly. +2 to the reinforcements track. 1, 2. Then we're going to move it. We're going to move it all the way to the left and add reinforcements. So, whoop, we get to add 3 red cards. Any red enemies will do. 1, Blackwood Fighter. 2, Black Coven Caster. And 3, another Blackwood Fighter. Okay. And then we're going to go to the pursuit phase. Well, there's the travel phase, which we cannot do anything during, and then the pursuit phase. Okay. I do not have a choice. The first enemy has to go to Venda, reducing her down to 5 enemy focus, and that is an ambusher who is enraged, which means he's dealing 3 damage to her immediately. Fun! Maybe I'll just make her be my damage sponge for this combat. So I'm going to get rid of 3 cards, huh? I'm going to get rid of these 3. I want to try and hold on to that combat leap here. Okay, so then we have Herrig has to take the next one, which is Ralphor's the Way Changer. That goes down to 3. So that means the next one is going to Venda. Which goes down to 2. That means the next one is going down to Herrig as the Black Coven Caster, which is nice because he is a sorcerer, so I can completely ignore his attack. And then that means the last Blackwood Fighter goes to Venda, bringing her also down to 1. Okay, So I think Herrig probably wants to go first. We're going to equip the Scroll of Wisdom, and we're going to equip the Ice Talisman, 1, 2, 3. We're going to equip the Blade of Shiver, 1, 2, 3, which is another reinforcements. We're going to use the Ice Talisman to put Fire Frost Mastery back on top of my deck. We're going to put the Ice Talisman on top of my deck. We are going to... Let's see, so I can deal 1, 2 physical damage, plus 2 physical damage using the Blade of Shiver, ignoring 1 defense using the Aura of Cold. So that is 4 physical damage total to Ralphors, who would block 2 of it. So that's 2 physical damage. That brings him up to 6, and then 7 from this flame token. Oh, wait a second here. No. No. So what I'm thinking is maybe if I can kill maybe a Blackwood fighter using my Frostbolt, then I can get the instead of moving this into the top of my deck, maybe it can get the Fire Frost Mastery back out into play and put another fire token on Ralphors, because that's 4. Let's see. Is there a way to do it? That's really the question here. So if I use a Frostbolt, if I use my Ice Staff and a Frostbolt, I could deal 2 arcane damage, ignoring 1 of their defense. So I could deal 2 damage to a Blackwood fighter. I would then need to discard a card, an additional card, to deal an additional damage. Also, I can't attack this guy with the Blade of Shiver because that's a ranged attack. So let's see, discard 1 arcane card to cancel 2. That doesn't help me. Frost Blast would help me if I was attaching things to the enemies, which I am not, although maybe I should have been, but it still doesn't help me against this guy. So I don't know if there is a way to do that. So, and the reason, I don't think I made this clear, but the reason I was thinking of doing that was I would then get Winter's Aid. If I had 1 more resolve, I could get Winter's Aid. I guess I could maybe kill the Black Coven caster, although I can just ignore his attack, so it doesn't really seem like it would be that useful to me to kill him, except for just to get the resolve. So I know that I'm going to have to use my Ice Staff, so I'm going to put that Ice Staff in play now. I don't actually have Winter's Aid, so basically I just have this Frostbolt in my hand. Is that right? Is there any other card in here that I had in my hand? I don't think so. Okay. So I could use the Frostbolt to deal no damage to Ralphors. So really I don't... Really there's nothing I can do against Ralphors this turn. He's just going to have to take another damage, and then he's going to flip again. So I should use this Frostbolt on somebody else. First of all, I think I'm going to use the Scroll of Wisdom. Well, no, because, see, now I sort of want cards in my discard pile, because if I put them on the bottom of my deck, then I'm just going to need to take wounds, and it's going to come off the top of my deck or my hand, neither of which I want. So I sort of want these cards in here as a way to sort of defend myself. So I sort of don't want to use the Scroll of Wisdom. So if I did not equip the Scroll of Wisdom ever, I could discard that to deal 1 additional damage with my Frostbolt, which would deal damage to this guy, which would flip him. If that matters. It would also allow me... Okay, here we go. It would allow me to kill this thing, Blackwood Fighter. And then I wouldn't have had to do this. So let's just take that part of the turn back. 1, 2. That goes back down. So if I use a Frostbolt to kill the Blackwood Fighter, I would get 1 resolve. I could get Winter's Aid. I could get some cards back into my hand. No, because then I wouldn't have the Frostbolt to target this guy with. Well, wait, because I could take a Frostbolt out of my discard pile. But then I would still... That's a regular action. Okay, I don't think I'm coming up with anything any better than what I was going to do before. So I'm just going to use the Frostbolt. Put this on top of my deck in order to activate it. That moves up 1, 2. That goes there. I'm going to then also discard the Ice Talisman to deal 1 additional damage. So that's 3 frost damage against Ralphors. So it's going to deal 1 hit to him, but it's at least going to flip him over. Which, was that even useful? I'm not sure. Well, it is useful. It is useful, because it flips him over, and then I can use my Blade of Shivers against him. So the Frostbolt is done. I think I need to move this up 1 more. And then I still have this Scroll of Wisdom in my hand, so I could use the Scroll of Wisdom to recycle some cards. If I can get any... There's not really anything cheap. So if I use my Blade of Shivers regular ability, it's not going to deal... Or his fast action, it's not going to deal anything to him. Even ignoring his 1 defense. So I think maybe now would be the time to get the Ice Nova, which would allow me to discard 1 arcane card to cancel 2 physical or magic damage. If I also discard 2 frost cards, no enemy in the same area is allowed to attack until the end of this phase. Okay, that could be useful. This battle, I don't think this is going to turn out well for me. I mean, I could maybe kill him eventually. I think I'm just going to use... Okay, so I need to get this Blade of Shiver out of my hero area because I'm going to need to bury it or discard a gear from my hero area because of his Entropy Strike anyway. So I might as well use it. I'm also going to equip this Scroll of Wisdom. I'm going to use that to recycle some cards. Blade of Shiver. Going to use to... See, I can't really attack anybody. I mean, I could attack the Black Coven caster, but the problem is that just causes him to counterattack me. So I might as well not do anything. And let's see. I don't really... Move up to 3 cards from my discard pile to the bottom of your deck. Yeah, I'm going to do that because I want this healing potion. I want this... I want to keep this Fire Frost Mastery in my discard pile for later, I think. So I'm going to do this, bury this card, move up to 3 cards from my discard pile to the bottom of my deck. I'm going to take this healing potion, that's 1. I'm going to take the... I guess I'm going to take the Fire Frost Mastery and put that on top. See, no. I want that Fire Frost Mastery like yesterday. So I'm going to keep that in my discard pile and hope that I get enough resolve to use Winter's Aid and get it back into my hand. No, because then I'm just going to be burying it when I take damage. So I need to put that back on the bottom of my deck. And I'm also going to put the Touch of Cold down there. There we go. Okay. Sounds good. And then that would end his turn. So this stuff goes to the bottom of my deck. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it would be Venda's turn. And well, at least I get a Frost Shield. That's not bad. I get 2 Frost Shields. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I think Venda is saying today is a good day to die. And she is just purely going to try to kill off this guy and die trying. So first thing she's going to do is she's going to equip her Cleaver of Havoc. 1, 2, 3. She's going to equip her other axe. 1. And then she is going to use her taunt to move any enemy into her hero area. She's going to move Ralphors, who has had his wings clipped, into her hero area. This does reduce. Oh no, it says it does not, specifically says it does not reduce. And then she is going to do the same thing again with its Cleaver of Havoc. She's going to do a Furious Strike. Not going to do a whole lot of good because she's got 3 days, subtracting 3 from her damage plus another 3 damage being subtracted because of his defense. If I can deal just one damage, that would be nice. But at the very least, I'm going to put fire on him. I'm going to fire him up. Okay. So I'm going to use the regular action of the Cleaver of Havoc. I don't really think, even if I did use, let's see, if I used the regular action, I added 1, I added 2, it's still not going to deal a single damage. So what I think I'm going to do instead, I'm going to use the fast action. It's going to put this on top of my deck. And I'm going to discard 1 combat card, this Wrath Call, not to deal the damage, but to put a fire token on the enemy. Alright, so that was the regular action is 2. 1, 2. Move the reinforcement track up 1. And put another fire token on him. So here's the deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to take another 2 at the end of this defense phase. So that'll bring him up to 7. I basically just need to survive. If I can survive long enough, I think I can take him out. As long as Herrig doesn't have to deal with any more of these Twisted Lashers or anything like that, I think I can take out the Way Changer. But for now, can I kill anybody even with 3 days tokens on me? I'm sort of doubting it. It'd be really nice if I could. It would be really nice if I could kill that ambusher. So I would need to deal 5, 6, 7, 8 damage with 1 attack, and I can deal maybe 4, which doesn't even scratch the surface. So if I were to use the Furious Strike, let's just say, and use the regular action of the Cleaver, let's just say, that would be 4 damage. I could do up to 5 damage Still not dealing any damage to Ralphorse. Man, this is a really bad situation. This Twisted Lasher, you do not want him to show up in your game ever. This is terrible, 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 terrible enemy. And he's got a little special icon on him too. I wonder what that means. What is that? I wonder if that means... Well, there's a Mage Hunter. What is that icon? Special enemy. I mean, some of these guys have them, some of them don't. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the enraged. You know what? I think I know what this icon means. I think I've been ignoring this the whole game, but I'm going to look that up. I think that an icon is important. This is good for you, I guess, if you have never played the game. You will not make the same mistake that I did. Alright, raging enemies. Ah, okay. It just says some effects and abilities will refer to raging enemies. So it's basically exactly like everybody else. It just, some effects and abilities will refer to raging enemies. I don't think I've ever seen one that does. But who knows? Okay, where was I? Where's my card? Where's my card that I had in my hand? That's weird. This was in there. I had a card. That is very weird. Huh. That's bizarre. Where's the card I had in my hand? That's so weird. It was a Furious Strike. It must be this card. It must be that card. That's so weird. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep it in my hand. I don't see any point in doing anything else. It's just going to bring the enemy focus up. So we're going to go end the turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go to the defense phase. Activate all enemies. So, first of all, the Black Coven Caster activates. He's going to deal 2 magic damage to me. I automatically am going to resist that 2 magic damage. So that's not a problem. Now, Venda is going to get creamed, I believe. So we're going to activate each enemy one at a time. Let's start with the Blackwood Fighter. He's going to deal 2 physical damage. Is there anything that's going to get rid of any damage for me? No, not really. I mean, if I had this in my hand, that would have been nice. So, 2 damage. I'm going to bury this for 2. 2 damage. I'm going to bury these 2 cards. 3 damage, 6 damage, total of 11 more damage. So I could basically bury my whole hand. I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All of these lovely, lovely powers going in the waste bin. Plus, because I buried a card as a result of, well, everybody's damage. So I buried a card as a result of the Blackwood Fighter's attack. Guess what? Guess what? 2 more days tokens. Who cares? This guy, 2 more days tokens. Alright. This one, I buried a card as a result, so I need to discard a gear card from my hero area if able. I'm going to discard this hand axe. Actually, before I ended my turn, I should have moved a card from my burial pile to the bottom of my deck. That probably would have been this Wrath Call from before. It goes on the bottom of my deck. And I could, as a fast action, move an axe card from my discard pile to the top of my deck. Oh, I didn't have one. So, I don't think. I don't know. Okay, so that's dealt with. Now we deal with the status effects. That's done. He gets 2 more wounds. 1, 2. Which means he flips again. So he is now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going to take an additional 1 at the end of the next round. That means, barring anything surprising, all I need to do is deal 2 more damage to him and have at least one of these heroes survive. Okay. End of the defense phase. Encounter phase. Nothing seems to happen here, I don't think. And then time phase. Oh, this is the bad one. So, 2 plus 2 to the time track, and then plus, at that point it would be plus 3 to the time track, or the players may collectively discard 2 cards. Well, let's see here. I want to keep the Cleaver of Havoc around, just so I can do another flame damage to this guy next turn. So, I don't think it particularly matters. We move up 2 more. So let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I just need to have him dead by the end of the defense phase. I think that's more important. Okay. And I passed by the enrage symbol here, which I think means enrage 1 enemy per hero or per area, per hero area. Let me see. The enrage on the time track. All right, time track. Raging enemy symbol requires each player to immediately enrage a raging enemy of their choice in their hero area if able. Let me see here. What about in the enemy focus track? Enrage a raging enemy of your choice in your hero area. So this is a little weird. So for instance, the Blackwood Fighter is not listed as a raging enemy, but he can be enraged. I mean, he has a rage effect, but he's not listed as a raging enemy. So why do they say enrage a raging enemy in your hero area if able? So this guy, he's going to attack, 2 magic damage. So I can't avoid that with the Frost Shield. So I just have to take the damage, it looks like. I'm going to do that. No. Because if I take the damage, then I have to bury an additional card. Well, I don't think there's really anything I can do, though. Okay. So that. And then he gets calmed down again. And then this one, Twisted Lasher. Let's do it. Let's take some more Daze tokens. Those are always fun. Okay. Oh, because I have to do another one of these because he is the caster. Okay. And now we go to the reinforcements phase. 1, 2, we're going to bring out 3 more enemies. That is the Changeling, the Blackwood Fighter, and the Twisted Cursebearer. Okay, who is going to get these enemies? This is pretty suspenseful. So the Changeling's going to go here. That is 1, 2, 3. I was on 9, so I go down to 4. You can't attack the Changeling until after the Changeling has attacked you. Or you discard 2 cards. That means another Blackwood Fighter goes against Venda, who now has 4, and I'm going to put this one over by Venda, which is going to put a weakness on that hero. The weakness is different from a daze. The weakness is whenever a player draws cards, they draw 1 fewer card. So put a weakness on Venda here, because why not? Why not? Okay. And so she's down to 2, and then we're going to go into the hero phase. Okay, I forgot one thing, which actually turns out well for me. Ralphors, because he took a damage during the defense phase, he flipped, so he gets to use his flight ability. At the end of the defense phase, he moves back to the quest area. But this works out well for me because he would then go here instead of the Changeling. The Changeling would go here instead of the Fighter. And then the Fighter would go here and the Cursebearer would go there. That's good because I can actually damage this guy using Herrig. I just need to deal 2 damage to him and survive the round. That is easy stuff. It's easy stuff. I just need to put out this Ice Staff. 1, 2. I need an attack. Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to use this Arcane Inspiration to draw 1. Actually, that didn't count against my draw limit, so I get 1 more. I just need an attack. Oh dear. So, but then I can play the Arcane Inspiration to draw another 1. And then I can use my once per round ability to exchange a Frost card in my discard pile for a Frost card in my burial pile. Why am I doing that? That doesn't actually do anything for me. I just need the Frostbolt. I just need a Frostbolt, man. I just need a Frostbolt, man. I actually cannot. This is terrible. This is terrible stuff, but I don't think, unless I can buy something that'll deal damage, which I don't think I have, I don't think I'm going to deal any damage to him this round. Venda can taunt him over. This is really awful. This is really bad because I could, if I just had a Frostbolt in my hand, if I just had a Frostbolt in my hand, I could easily deal 2 damage to him. But I cannot deal 2 damage to him with the Blade of Shiver because he's at range 2. I could have Venda over here, taunt him over, and then attack him with the Cleaver of Havoc, which wouldn't deal damage, but it would put another fire token on him. But he would still survive 1 more round. If I take damage this round, you know, I think I might have lost. I mean, I think it's, no, I can't. If I can't kill him this round, I'm dead. So, I think, unfortunately, we've lost. I rushed in. Only fools rush in. And I rushed into this battle with Relforce the Waychanger. I should have spent at least one round back at the inn, making sure I had a full deck of cards, getting this runestone out, attaching cards to it so I could deal some real damage. Also, if this Twisted Lasher had never come out, I could easily have killed him. But that's beside the point. I had plenty of time. I was only on the beginning of the second row of the time track, so I could have spent one round at least getting everything prepared, then going to battle. And I bet I could have defeated him if I had done that. Because with this mage character, and the other mage character even more so, it's really all about getting these cards prepared, getting those cards attached to the Frost Runestone, getting these Arcane Inspiration cards in your hand to get a really big hand of cards, and then piling on the damage in a single massive attack. As far as I can tell, I'm not really super strong with the strategy of these characters. The mage characters, true to life, are the trickier ones to handle. And that's actually one of the things I really like about the game. It's not balanced in terms of the character's strengths. There are some characters like the cleric who are going to stomp all over the enemies. But I think that's sort of fun. I mean, I think that sort of adds to the role-playing element of the game, that the mages are super, super tricky, and they require advanced preparation and planning and really, really knowing their deck. The characters that are just sort of bash things are much more straightforward and easy to play, and they deal a pretty moderate amount of damage. I mean, you can really chop heads off left and right with this Fury. But then when you get into the one who thematically should be the strongest, the Dawnbreaker Cleric. I mean, look at this description. The Dawnbreakers are a warrior cult of the Dawn Mother, always ready to face off against the malevolent servants of the Mist, more than eager to counter its corrupting influence. More warrior-like than the less militant orders, the warrior clerics of Dawn struggle to appear everywhere the tendrils of Mist manage to reach. So basically, this is somebody whose entire existence is dedicated to stomping into the Mist and basically burning up anything that she finds with like holy fire. And you can definitely feel that when you're playing the character. She is just a machine in terms of dealing damage, decimating enemies, and then healing herself up in the process. If you're going to play a solo one deck game, start out with her. It'll be pretty much easy mode. That aside, though, I was sort of making a point about how I wasn't really playing the mage character to the best ability, and I think the mages are tricky and probably the weakest characters anyway. So there are several things I could have done differently. But that's all beside the point now, because Relforce the Waychanger has won. The Mists have won. They've consumed our minds, and unfortunately, you know what I'm going to say, that's all she wrote.